Hello, good evening. It is indeed 3 minutes past 9. It's Monday, the 17th of January, as I record this, the second Ads on This TV Monday night broadcast of 2022. And we've got an absolute shed ton of, is that even a word? A shed ton? A shed load? A shed load, isn't it? We've got a shed load of stuff to discuss tonight. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in live. If you're listening on the replay, whether you're on SoundCloud or iTunes or Spotify or Stitcher or wherever, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, on the replay, or LinkedIn or Twitter, just let me know somehow. Tweet me, leave a comment, whatever, to let me know that you are here live. Not live, because you're not here live. Let me know you watching the replay. Right, hashtag replay. I'm going to level with you. I've had half a glass of wine before this broadcast, so anything could happen. I don't normally drink on a Monday night. I just had a beautiful meal, though. So that is why I have had a glass of wine on a Monday night. Right, we've got loads to cover tonight. I want to recap on some wicked stuff that happened on atsonthis.tv for members last week. I want to discuss a little bit about 2022 moving forward, showing you what we've got coming up, and I want your input again on the kind of features you need moving forward. We did quite a lot of that last week, and I've got a whole list of names that I've been working at this week to try and get involved in this community moving forward in 2022. And then we'll do a little bit of Q&A. Anything goes till 10 o'clock. Richard Hayler in the house from the States. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. You've put toss as well. Was that is that a predictive text thing, or is that just because Brian put that as well? Alex, I hope you're good. Julie, good evening. And Cheryl, good evening. I hope you're well. So Cheryl, you're looking at agents, right? You said any help with an agent, right? I've got some stuff to play out for you tonight from agents, because last week, if I go over to the website, this is atsonthis.tv. If you've never seen this site before, go over to atsonthis.tv, watch the video right there. I explain to you what we do at Acts on This. Basically sit down every single week with one of the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers, directors in TV, host a private Zoom session that members get to join, that no one else gets to join. We pull the curtain back on the industry, basically introduce you to the biggest names in the game, and move people's careers forward way faster than anybody else. We had last week a top agent on, Bex Elliff from Creative Artist Management. So Cheryl, you want to go and watch this if you've not already. This is a little preview you can watch in the preview section on atsonthis.tv if you're not a full member. If you're a full member, you get access to the full 90-minute recording, plus access to these sessions every single week. I've got a 2-minute clip of what you missed, well, like a little trailer of what you missed on this call last week, and then we're just going to dive into a little bit. I've got 2 other clips that I want to play for you that hopefully you'll find useful if you are looking for an agent. If you want to get access to the full thing, like I say, grab a membership, join us for 2022. It'll be the best thing you've ever done for your career. But it's a little bit about the session and what you missed. She has been requested umpteen times. I've finally tracked her down via 25 emails, and we've made it happen. Top agent from Cam, it's Bex Elliff. How did you get into this crazy industry? What did you start off as? How did you end up at Cam? What's the deal?
I got offered a job at an agency, which I'm not going to name.
Okay.
And then overnight, something just dropped, the penny dropped, that wasn't going to provide me much longevity, and I wanted clients that I could work with and develop for a very long time. I decided to come down and do a few interviews at agencies, and CAM was my second interview. There are 3 partners of CAM, and that is Michael, Dawn and Peter. Michael has 2 wonderful actors that he represents, and you will all know them. It's Martin Freeman and Ray Winston.
Todd is the most recent. Tell us how you signed him, how you met him, and what it was about him that made you go, I want him.
Probably music to everybody's ears on here. I met him at a workshop last year.
There you go.
Literally on one of these. And then when he said that he needed advice, I kindly just suggested that he drop me an email after the workshop, and I helped him. And then he was saying, who should I write to? Who should I meet? And I was like, well, I'll be really offended if you don't want to speak to me. 3
most important things to include in my email if I'm emailing you for rep. If I don't have a show reel, this is what you just said. Can I send you a self-tape / recent audition? How can they work with, not against or independently, but with their agent to cultivate more opportunity?
What do you think is a realistic number of auditions do you expect? Would one a week? One every 2 weeks, couple of weeks? What do you think?
It's hard because I have clients that have 10 auditions a week, and I have clients that have 10 auditions a month.
So my question is basically if you have any tips for mixed race actors approaching agents.
You don't have to fit into a box. All ethnicities, heritage, disability is welcome in this industry. Everyone's comparing themselves to everyone else's experience, but being an actor is having your own experience. Just like being an agent, I don't want other agents' experience, I want my own. So just stay in your own lane.
Boom, atsonthis.tv, get your membership if you want to get access to the full recording of that session. So you can see we covered bloody everything. I mean, there was so much we covered in that session with Bex. Bex from Creative Artist Management, one of the biggest agencies, you know, sort of like one of the top agencies in London. She's been an agent herself for over 10 years. That agency, as you heard there, you know, looks after massive names, you know, like Martin Freeman, Ray Winston, Ray Panthaki as well. Lots of well-known serial drama people. Emma Atkins, you know, she plays Charity Dingle, isn't it? Yeah, I get. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Who's the other? I get all the Dingles mixed up. But lots of familiar faces basically within the agency. Lots of great careers that they've helped nurture. And what I loved about Bex was just how down to earth and how open she is to see new talent. As you saw in that clip there, Tolga Safer, great actor, great career now. Didn't have an agent when he met Bex on one of, you know, like an online Zoom workshop effectively. So she's super open to seeing people who are not, you know, super established, even though, you know, CAM or CAM is a, you know, a fantastic agency. So go and watch that session if you've not watched it. If you did watch it, please let me know in the chat here what you thought of it. And let me know also, just give me a comment if you are actually looking for an agent right now. And we can talk a little bit around tactics of how you can target agents, you know, that I think are going to be receptive to your application effectively. There are certain agencies, you know, that depending on where you're at in the industry would be futile really to kind of apply to, or certain agents within those agencies who look after much more established artists. But I think there's a really easy way to figure out who you should be writing to. And I'll tell you that in a minute by working backwards ultimately from what it is that you want right now. But I'll just dive into some comments and then we'll go into that. Tony says, what kind of wine? Inquiring minds want to know. I think it was a Shiraz wine, Tony. A fruity Shiraz wine I had tonight. I think the brand was called Leaps and Bounds. It had a dog on the label from a well-known supermarket over here in the UK we have called Sainsbury's. So, you know, if you ever pop over, mate, I'll buy you a bottle of Leaps and Bounds, no problem. Alex is asking what they have as well. Everybody, are you all alkies on here? You all want a red wine recommendation? It's supposed to be good for you though, isn't it? You're allowed a red wine like once a day. Is that allowed? Saskia says, evening team, currently isolating with COVID. So I hope you're all keeping me company. Saskia, get well soon. I had it on Christmas Day. I had it all over Christmas. I got it on like the 18th of December. It was bloody rubbish. Really rubbish. Get your vaccines, folks. I was double vaccinated. Still knocked me for 6. I would not have liked to have had it without that. So look after yourselves. Hope you get a very fast recovery, Saskia. Oh, and Alex wanted to know what food I had. I had stuffed chicken with parma ham. This isn't acting related, Alex. I had some broccoli, carrots, peas, sweet corn, mash, and cream cheese, and some creamed cabbage. I mean, it was beautiful. Shout out to the beautiful chef in my kitchen who cooked that for me. I don't know if she's listening in and watching this, but thank you very much for the meal. That was a follow-up wind-up. Richard said, you called me Toss on purpose. Thanks, Rich. Christine, how you doing? Christian, how are you, mate? Says he's going to be back tomorrow. Look forward to having you back in the community, dude. Julie's here, says Alex's new scene is great. God, the chat's all going down here, isn't it? It's all happening. And Liz says, have you seen Shakira post about comedy stuff? If not, check my Twitter and get on it. Is that Shakira Dowling, Liz? Great casting director. I haven't seen that, to be honest. But Liz Thompson on here, follow her advice. Go in there, follow her on Twitter, and look for Shakira Dowling on Twitter as well if there's a comedy... what is it? A bit of a comedy casting breakdown, I imagine. Nick says Bodhi Talent are opening a London office. They certainly are. Fantastic agency. They are opening a London office. That's another agency people definitely want to have on the radars. And we did do a session with Bodhi. I think it's definitely still in the members area. If you go to the members area on atsonthis.tv, it's one of the best sessions we did with agents last year, actually. Archie Purnell and Ricky Cortes are the two agents at Bodhi, are just two of the most sort of hard-working people I know in the industry right now. There it is there. It's called Your Agent is Your Business Partner with Bodhi talent agent Archie Purnell. Go and watch that one or listen to the audio on that one as well, guys. Absolutely killer. Killer feature. So I've got a couple of clips that I want to play out before I read more comments. From Bex Elliff from CAM. The first one I want to play out because this is something that I've already had, I don't know, God, I dread to think, over 100 emails from actors already, and we're only on the 17th of January. I genuinely have probably had over 100 emails about this since the 1st of January this year. and that is emails to agents themselves. So I've been getting emails from actors wanting me to read emails that they want to send to agents or to casting directors. Actors overthink this so much. I've been guilty of doing this myself. I think if we're not careful, we procrastinate. We expect, I don't know, there to be some sort of formula or perfect email. That's not the case. You know, everybody's different. Your personality is different. There are certain things you should follow within emails in terms of making sure you have stuff that's useful for agents. You know, you want to include your spotlight if you're on Spotlight. You want to include, your headshot and your signature of your email because that might pique interest. You want to include a link to your show reel or a self-tape or a clip of something, you know, that you think shows your ability really well and is relevant. But apart from that, just let your personality kind of shine. Actors overthink emails so much. I spoke to Bex about this on last Tuesday night, sorry. And this is a little bit of advice ultimately about just calming down when it comes to email, guys. So when emailing you, this is another big thing that people overthink and worry about and fret about. They're like, what the hell do I put in the subject line when I'm looking for rep so that, you know, it doesn't get lost or it gets, you know, at least gets opened? Or do I put something clever or do I just put something normal? Or like, what do you like to see if someone's just emailing you for rep?
Representation in their name.
There you go.
The thing is, but that comes from, I open all my rep emails that are emailed to me. So
right.
there's no filter, like there's no hidden agenda, but I know that within other agencies, some people might not be able to do that. Whereas for me, I know the purpose of the email, and what that does is it allows me to, if I'm having a really hectic day, it allows me to put that to one side and know what it's about and come back to it later. Not that it's not important, but if it's got some cryptic, you know, if it's got one of my clients' names in it, that's going to do my head in because I will put time aside to do it. So for me, it's just repping your name, because then I might want to dig it out at a later stage. I might be referencing it to somebody, or I might think, oh my God, that client, you know, that person that wrote in, and I can't find it. 3 most important things to include in my email if I'm emailing you for rep. I'm not that picky. I think that people overthink these things. I just think I've learned to skim read, so I will pick what I need to, but ultimately, again, like whatever's in that email, unless it's incriminating or like offensive, it's going to be down to your CV, your headshot and your show reel. So anything in between, I know you want to stand out, and that's nice, but I wait for that bit for when I meet you. That's when you'll stand out.
Yes.
I just wish I could get rid of this sort of worry and panic about the cover letter. Like, I do workshops when I break people's cover letters down and I go, there it is, don't overthink it, like that is fine, you know. And I just think people can overthink it way too much.
I'll no doubt keep saying it tonight, but atonthis.tv if you want to get a membership and get access to the full session there with Bex. But yeah, like the whole message really within that clip is to stop overthinking your emails. If there's one thing you do in 2022 when it comes to your marketing strategies as an actor, just chill out. Ultimately, just chill out. If you spent last year panicking around emails and thinking, oh, I'm going to get blacklisted. Is this something that doesn't exist, by the way, unless you're going to be rude in your email, or I'm going to get it wrong. You know, what if I say the wrong thing? You can't, unless you're going to be an absolute idiot and offend somebody by calling them like a name or slating their work. You can't really get it wrong. Obviously, like Bex said there, you know, the show reel, your headshot, your credits, if you've got a CV with credits on already, is going to, is really going to do the talking for you. But for me, the message is like, reach out more, like send more emails in 2022. If you look back to 2021 and you realize that your fear, basically, maybe even sort of like, I don't know, fear dressing itself up as practicality, like, oh, I don't have anything new to say, or I don't know whether to reach out again. I already emailed them once. You probably have just talked yourself out of potential opportunities there. Send more emails. And one thing you should start doing as well, and this is something that I won't really have time, unfortunately, to do like a tutorial on, on something like this. But like, start tracking your emails. Look up, just Google how to track email, and then you will find like loads of different programs out there that will tell you how to, include a tracking pixel in your email that will tell you if your email has been opened, that will tell you who clicked on it, how many times it was open, how many times your links were clicked, because then you can send follow-up emails if it's not been opened, because you'll know you're not being a pest because they haven't read it. So like, just chill out basically with your emails this year. Let's dive back into the comments. Tony's going to take me up on the bottle of wine offer. Tony, I mean it, anytime. He says he's trying to make a visit out here later this year. Get yourself over to the UK, Tony. It's freezing at the moment, mate, and it's grey and raining. You wouldn't want to come now, but in the summer, that in the UK lasts for about 3.5 days, sometime in July. We get 3 days in July, mate. Get yourself over. I'll get you a bottle of wine. Easy peasy. Nicola Dockett, how are you, Docco? She's tuned in, says, fancy meeting you all here. I've not seen you in ages, Nicola. Get yourself involved in the community again. I hope you are well. Nick, if your screen keeps freezing, mate, refresh the page. Facebook has some dodgy streaming stuff sometimes. I've been watching a few lives this week where it's been doing that. So yeah, just refresh the page, mate. It should be all good. It's showing at my end that everything is totally cool. There's so many comments to get through tonight, guys. Bloody hell. Sarah says there are a lot of sessions about approaching also casting directors. They might bring you in for auditions even without an agent, and you never know what can happen from there. So yeah, you're replying to Cheryl's comment there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every casting director I have had on actsonthis.tv, I mean all of them, from the serial drama casting directors who are looking for, the smaller roles on a weekly basis, right up until people like Kelly Valentine Hendry and her team who are coming on this Thursday night for members of actsonthis.tv. If Kelly's whole team is coming on Thursday night as well, but they cast the biggest stuff, like I said before, like Bridgerton. They have cast in the past. What have they been working on? Amazon's Wheel of Time. I mean, she did Gangs of New York, Broadchurch back in the day, ITV's The Bay, the biggest stuff. Kelly's still super open to seeing people who have not got loads of credits, and have not had loads of experience. David Carpenter, one of the members of actsonthis.tv, landed a regular role in ITV's The Bay this year. Well, last year, it shows this year. It started 5 days ago on ITV. Never had a TV job in his life. Kelly gave him that, a regular in all 6 episodes. He's going to come on for a member-only mastermind session in February to talk all about that, because I think that'll be really relevant for you guys, about how he marketed himself, how he landed an agent, and how he worked with his agent to get that audition off Kelly. David's a super hard-working actor. So people are open to seeing people, but you must, like I say, email people, reach out. It's your duty to make people aware that you exist. Otherwise, it ain't going to come to you. It just isn't. I left drama school, and for the first 4 years, sort of expected it to. This is many, many years ago, 2000 and... When did I leave? 2005? So probably 2005 to 2009. I had 4 years. I was like, I've got everything. I'm on Spotlight. I've got an agent. I've been at drama school. I've got my headshots. Right, I don't have to do anything. It's just going to happen. Nothing happened. Pointless. What a waste of 4 years. Start sending stuff out. 100%. Start sending things out. Sarah says my email tracker doesn't work. This doesn't help me not being able to wait. Well, Sarah, that is down to you to fix it. It will work. If if the one you've got, if the piece of software is broken, find another one. It's yours to fix, Sarah. You can fix that if you spend an hour on it, I'm sure. Definitely. What else is going down in the chat? Indra, how you doing? I hope you're good. You said you've emailed me. I'll try and get to that when I can this week, mate. Definitely. Any other comments? Julius, watch David in the Bay. Yeah, cracking series. Watch it. Dan Ryan stars in it as well. We've had him on actsonthis.tv before. He's a good mate. He's great, great actor. You'll find his session in the members area right now as well. The next clip, it's actually the only other clip I want to play out from Bex's session. There was loads and loads and loads of stuff covered in Bex's session, but ultimately, if you're looking for an agent right now, I just want you to go and watch the whole thing, get a membership. I promise you, it'll be the best thing that you do for your career in 2022. But there was one actor who asked a question in this session I just thought was interesting, and I think it's something that actors always think about because they want to compare themselves to everybody else around them. The comparison game is a really easy game to fall into and lose when you're an actor. It is in life anyway, with social media and Instagram and people, posting things that are very loosely based on their real life. It's hilarious when you actually know people in real life and you look down their Instagram and you go, God, lovely pictures, but I know, that doesn't represent what's going in your life right now. So don't fall into that trap of comparing and thinking everybody else has a perfect life but you. And the question that this actor asked here was, how many auditions really should I be getting? She wanted to know, how many auditions Bex would want her clients to be getting. And the answer is interesting because there's no real sort of right number. It's very different for everybody. But I just thought it was quite interesting. Here's what she said.
how many auditions would you expect a client to get in a year? And I don't mean like actually booking the job. I mean, like, what do you think is a realistic number of auditions do you expect? Would one a week, one every 2 weeks, couple of weeks? What do you think?
It's hard because I have clients that have 10 auditions a week and I have clients that have 10 auditions a month. Not one is right. It doesn't matter.
Where would you be getting uncomfortable, Bex, if you were like, they've not had anything for X amount of time?
I think that after sort of 3 months, I think the industry goes in 3-month waves. I think that we have busy, we have the summer that gets a bit quiet and then it picks back up and then it's Christmas. If a wave has passed and I haven't had any traction and I felt it's generally busy, then I'll start wondering why they're slipping off radars. What we can do, again, to change it up. It doesn't mean that there's any right or wrong number. I have all different people that meet. There's just no rhyme or reason as to why it happens. It just depends on what's being made. Remember what I said earlier, it's a business. We are aware of it. We are very aware of when we're not making money off people, and we never like to give the cold hard truth about it, but I know who is not earning me money and I know who hasn't earned me money for a long time, so it's almost like don't say it if you're aware of it. You just need to be as helpful as possible and have constructive conversations, because we are always up for it. If it was down to finances all the time, I wouldn't represent some of the people that I do, but I truly believe in them and I know that one day they will make it. But there is no, you should have 5 auditions a week, you should have 5 auditions a month. It does not work like that.
Once more, the full chat with Bex is in the members area over on atsonthis.tv. If you get membership, you get access to it instantly. An incredible chat all about landing a top agent this year in 2022. So the answer to that question, how many auditions should I be getting each year? Ultimately, it's different for every single person. The kind of line in the sand for Bex where she would get a little bit concerned for a client is if they've not had an audition in 3 months. So have a think if you've had an audition in 3 months or you've had a self-tape request in 3 months. If not, maybe there's a conversation to be had with your agent there. And also, you might think what Bex said there, about the business side. It's like, oh, okay, that kind of stings a little bit. It's like, I know which clients are making me money and which aren't. But it is a business. And you need to start looking at your acting career as a business this year, because if you're not making money out of your career, it's not a career, is it? It's just a hobby at best. So you really need to start looking at your acting career as an actual business and start treating it as such. And like Bex said there, she's not super cold and callous though. She's like, if it was about the money, there are clients, that she just really believes in. She wouldn't have taken some clients on because she's just like, I really, really believe in you, but it's going to take time for you to make it, So obviously, she's aware that neither, herself or the client are really going to be getting any paid work for quite a bit while they, hustle and I guess, make headway in the industry. But everybody needs to start looking at their career this year as a business. I think if you do, you'll work harder. You'll take it more seriously as opposed to, dabbling, I guess. There's 2 types of actors. Those who kind of dabble and they go they get motivated for a week and they do a bit of work and they do nothing for 3 months because they get demotivated because they didn't get any emails back from the emails that they sent. That's why you should be tracking your emails though. At least you'll know if they've been opened. And they kind of dabble maybe 4 times a year as opposed to going, right, I'm actually just going to do something, nothing massive, but something constructive every single day, Monday to Friday. And the compound effect of those seemingly insignificant decisions, those small things on a daily basis, God, after a year, adds up to masses and masses and masses of opportunity because you're planting little seeds all the time, as opposed to going through a week where you go, right, I'm going to plant all my seeds here. I guess it'd be kind of like, I don't know what's the equivalent, like a farmer planting all of his crops in 1 week of the year, and then if the rain doesn't come, go, forget it, then I'm not going to eat this year. Like, you've got to be planting your seeds every day. And then sometimes in the year it'll rain and these plants will grow. And sometimes there'll be, it'll be, I don't know, a heat wave and there'll be no rain and these seeds will die and never grow. But if you're constantly planting them, you're going to get some growing. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous kind of metaphor that. But I guess you get what I mean. You know what I mean? Doing things, dabbling 4 times a year, unless lightning strikes, is not really going to lead to any success. Doing something committed once a day, Monday to Friday for a year, you're going to find it impossible not to make progress. Sharon, what have you got here? Got a question for me. I just missed it. What did you say, Sharon? Would you get blacklisted if you shared a script with, and I don't know what the rest of that question is, would you get blacklisted if you shared a script? Let me go back and see. Would you get blacklisted if you shared a script with someone to get them to help you read in for a self-tape? It says in the script not to be shared with anyone outside of production. No, Sharon, you're all right. You're all right on that score. So what I would do is, if it's like you've had to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, on a script like that, and they want you to self-tape, they don't expect you to read in your own lines opposite you. They just don't want you to share it literally. You can't really send it to somebody else's email or anything like that. What I do in situations like that is I will copy and paste just their lines. I won't send them the script, but the lines that they will be reading in opposite me, I just basically send them those lines. I'll copy them out of the script, put them in a document myself, like a Word document, and just send them the lines. So you're not really giving them the script. You're not even giving them the name of the title. You can give them a little bit of background about what the scene's about, obviously, because they're going to need to act opposite you. But no, you ain't going to get blacklisted for getting someone. Casting directors are going to need somebody to read in with you for you to do a good performance. They're just being, sometimes very, very careful, saying, don't share this script. Or don't email it some random friend to print out for you. For instance, that wouldn't be very good. But no, to share it with someone in confidence who's a fellow actor who's going to read in for you. They understand the game. They get it. No one's gonna like do you over in that sense. So no, you're all good. I've had that happen many, many times. Just make sure that you are using, you're using trusted friends or people within this community who you can trust with a script like that. And you said you didn't sign an NDA. Well, there you go. No, it's fine then. Absolutely fine. James, how you doing? He says, my problem is I'm so impatient. I'm currently fighting my anxiety for fear of missing out. The day I stop fighting, then I will truly give up. It's funny, mate. Honestly, sometimes, Gary, good evening as well. I don't know, sometimes in my career, when I've really wanted something too bad, James, I almost feel like energetically I'm blocking myself from it. So many things in my life where if I overthink, it just goes wrong. And sometimes I feel like I'm just not allowing the thing to happen or letting it in. I know that sounds a bit airy-fairy and a bit woo-woo and a bit out there, but sometimes I'm getting to a point almost where I'm a bit desperate for this now. And I can almost feel like an energy block. I do it with money sometimes where I'm like, oh God, if you need some money. And rather than just allowing it to happen, I can't describe it. It's weird. I know it sounds completely backwards, but sometimes wanting something so desperately and focusing on it, I don't know, I think just sort of maybe blocks you from the opportunity or blocks you from seeing it sometimes. Sometimes where I've gone, I'm just going to just surrender ultimately in a really good way. I'm going to let go of that control. There's a great book called Letting Go, by the way. Dr. Got it somewhere. I hit myself in the face with the microphone. I've got it somewhere on the shelf. I'll find it. I'd get the audiobook version of it though, James, called Letting Go. Dr. someone, I can't remember the name of it, of the author, but Letting Go, white and yellow cover. It's one of the most liberating books I've ever read or had read to me, and it's all about the notion of just surrender and how powerful surrendering is. Not surrendering lying down and doing nothing, doing what you're doing, basically working every day, but just accepting that what will happen and what will be will be. Not chasing it, not being too desperate for it, and just allowing it in. Same things for things that have hurt you and you need to let go of as well. Just surrendering to it. Stop fighting that thing. Just ultimately breathe it out and let it go. And when I'm implementing that into my life, it's really weird. Things just sort of flow in without me even having to try sometimes. It's a wonderful feeling. I can't get it all the time. Sometimes it's almost sort of like a subconscious thing where I'm like, no, you're doing it again. Shh, chill out. But I understand basically, mate, what you mean, where you're like, I'm a bit desperate. Come on, I just want something to happen now. You just keep working as hard as you're working, James, because I see it, mate. I see it. That's the book there. Letting Go, he's just pasted it in there, James. The Pathway to Surrender, book by David R. Hawkins. Yep. Honestly, everybody get that book. I would get the audiobook because it's a lot easier. It's a book you really want to listen to last thing at night when you're in bed. Do a chapter a night whilst you're in bed. It's almost like meditation, listening to it. It just will put you so at peace with anything you are battling with in your life. Just surrender to it in a good way. But yeah, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. Probably that and The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. That's probably the two most impactful books I've ever read in my entire life. Definitely. So yeah, give that a go. Marie says, oh wow, I thought I was the only one because everyone talks about visualizing and chasing. What do you mean, Marie? As in what you chill out and you're just happy to let things unfold, or you mean you also go through what James is going through, where you're having a bit of a impatience and a bit of fear of missing out? Let us know. Esther, how are you doing? Good evening. So what I show you now, I'm just going to go over to Act on This again. I want to show you what's happening this Thursday night, and then we'll just chew the fat and just hang out and do some Q&A for 20 minutes or so. Let me go to the homepage. And actonthis.tv. I'm going to click on this banner at the top, or you can just go to actonthis.tv/live anytime you want to see what's coming up on the site for members. I'm just going to go over to the schedule for January. You've got 2 sessions left in January. In 2 days, 21 hours and 56 minutes as I record this session. We're going to be live with casting director Kelly Valentine Hendry and her entire casting team. That's 3 associates and an assistant. So it's going to be a full house. We're going to have 5 people who work at the top of casting on this call on Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Kelly's responsible, like I said before, for Bridgerton, Amazon Prime series Wheel of Time, ITV's flagship drama The Bay. She did Gangs of London. She did Broadchurch back in the day. Go and look at Kelly's IMDb. In fact, let's do it. Let's all do it. Let's have a look. Kelly Valentine Hendry. Let's see what Kelly has been up to. Where's her IMDb? The CDG IMDb. See what she's been up to over the last year. Literally some of the biggest stuff in the world. If IMDb is up to date. So The Rig, that's a brand new show. 6 episodes coming out in 2022. Havoc, Liaison's a new TV series. Mary's Monster, I've no idea what that is. Citadel, but yeah, Gangs of London, The Last Kingdom, Bridgerton, The Bay, Ghost, Wheel of Time, Cobra, Brave New World was massive, Grantchester, Bancroft, this is going back quite a while now, but The Spy, Harlots, Deep State, The Cry, Bulletproof back in the day, Episodes, that was there. What was Episodes? Had Matt LeBlanc in it, Episodes, did it? Was that what I'm thinking of? I'm sure it did. That was really good. Broadchurch, that's back in 2017 now. Unforgotten, that was a great series, but basically Humans was huge. Pretty much for, let's go back to Kelly's first casting director credit, Taggart back in 2005. Effectively for the last 15, 16 years, Kelly's worked at the top of TV in the UK. And this is what we're going to be discussing with her and her entire casting team this Thursday night. If you want to be on that call and potentially get a chance to speak to Kelly one-to-one, get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live. Hit one of these green buttons on the page here. We can watch this video and I'll explain exactly what you get as a member of actonthis.tv. And you'll get to join that call on Thursday night. Get your membership. You can get a yearly membership or a monthly membership. If you get a yearly membership, we give you £344 worth of bonuses to help you cross 2022. You get access to all the pre-recorded sessions from last year, including all of these names here. Guests like Stephen Graham, casting director Daniel Edwards, agents from United Agents, Hamilton Adele, creators of awesome shows like Brassic, Afterlife Season 3. Who's been watching it? I've not seen it yet, but there's Joe Wilkinson. Obviously, he stars in it as Pat, the Postman Pat in that. Get access to our app, loads of pre-recorded video podcasts. I mean, bi-weekly coaching calls with me, group coaching calls, monthly networking events. Ultimately, change your career in 2022. Go check it out. But we're going to be live with Kelly this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Next Tuesday, we've got Peter Hunt, the head of Hollyoaks Casting, coming to join us as well, helping you guys get potentially your first TV role in serial drama this year, or your next TV role fast. If you're looking for a role in serial drama. So much coming up if you're prepared to ultimately commit £6 a week to your career, or less if you get a yearly membership. Total no-brainer. The best value in the whole of the world. So check it out. Come and join. So we've got 20 minutes left. Let's do a little bit of Q&A. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm here for that. We'll just see what topics come up. I'm just going to go up the chat. Everybody's talking about Letting Go by David Hawkins. There is definitely and so Sharon, you've got the link there to the is it the Kindle book there? You said they don't have an audiobook version. It's because it's on Audible, Sharon. So Audible is Amazon's audiobook sort of site. Go to audible.co.uk. You can get a subscription from them dead cheap as well. I just love audiobooks. It's just so much faster than actually reading. And Nick says Matt LeBlanc was indeed in Episodes. I thought it was. I remember that from back in the day. That was a little bit a little bit ago, wasn't it? Right, let's have a look then. So yeah, everybody's getting letting go, the pathway to surrender. Everybody should be surrendering. And let's just get some questions in there. Anything you want to talk about for the next sort of 18 minutes, drop it into the Facebook comments. If you're watching on Twitter, by the way, a retweet would be amazing. Or if you're watching on LinkedIn, leave me a comment as well. You can always tweet me at Act on This TV as well if you've got any other questions we don't cover tonight. Julie says, I've been very fortunate to do self-tapes for 3 roles for Kelly Barenstein Henry, but not got a recall. But it's okay. Keep believing it will happen one day. Well, we'll ask her. On Thursday night, I'll go, Kelly, why has Julie not had a recall? Can we sort that out in 2022, please? I'm sure we can figure that out. Definitely. And Liz has just got the book on Audible. It's on there. It's really good, Liz. If you mean you just bought it or you've just got it as part of a subscription, honest to God, such a good book. The first 3 chapters will potentially change your life, where you just go, oh God, it is actually okay to just let go of all this shit I've been holding on to my entire life. Like, sometimes you just need someone to tell you. It's like, no, it's fine. Just let go of that, right? And sometimes you'll feel, one thing the book does really well at is reassure you that actually, like, it's all good if you feel you've got over something and then it crops back up again. Sometimes in your life, you'll be like, right, I feel I've dealt with that and that's in the past now. I've surrendered to it. I've let it go. I'm over it. And then it'll just crop up again. And you're like, oh, God, I thought, now I'm back to square one. And the book tells you, like, listen, you're not. There was just a little bit more you needed to let go of. There's a little bit more you needed to surrender. So it is a really reassuring book. It's a great book. Definitely, everybody check it out. Sharon says, not seen Afterlife 3 yet, but yeah, it's out on Netflix. I need to binge it. There's so much I want to watch. I've got to watch Boiling Point as well, Stephen Graham's new film with Phil Barantini on Amazon Prime. I've got to watch that. There's so many things I need to catch up on. And Liz has bought it to listen to something every night on Audible. Just one hour of it, Liz, a night, honestly, is decent. You have to be patient with parts of it because some parts of it get a bit kind of like, I don't know. He's got one of those voices that if you're not careful, it's a bit hypnotic. That's not a word. Hypnotic. And you can find yourself sort of drifting a little bit. But it is a cracking book to just have a little hour to yourself in bed with each night. And Jimmy's used his quiz voucher. Yes, James, you won a tenner, didn't you, on the Act on This quiz? Good lad, definitely. Right, so what do you want to chat about then? What's the crack? What's happening? Any questions about anything, life, career, marketing yourself, social media, maybe your side hustle? I want to talk to this community about side hustles this year. There's a lot of actors who are like so good. And I'm seeing sort of the life zapped out of them a little bit because they're working jobs that like they just don't need to be working now, like jobs that just zap their motivation. And they've got skills that people would pay them money for. I'm thinking, let me know if you think this would be useful, right? There's a friend of mine, a guy called Hal, he was a director. I met him at my drama school. He was also a breakfast DJ, for many, many years, used to work for really big radio stations, sort of presenting. And then he went into kind of like using everything he'd learned around the creative industries, like, presenting and directing and working with actors, and to go into the corporate world and sort of ultimately show them via actors that he would take in with him, like, things like things that we take for granted as actors in the corporate world are like big things. People doing presentations, like for someone who's not used to performing in front of an audience, is so shit scary. They need people in these organizations to basically go in, actors, presenters, and show people how to present, how to be confident, how to talk to a room, how to, ultimately stand there and be okay with people watching them. And Hal's like, there's so much money in this because big corporate firms have big budgets to run days, and they'll pay actors $2,000 to go in, and basically run a workshop effectively for a day on how to be confident, body language, posture, how to stand there and talk to a room and not crap yourself. And Hal's written a book about it. And I was thinking of maybe either bringing him on or just doing a recorded podcast where me and him just sit in my kitchen. I just put it in the members area for you guys based on his book, to show you how transferable your skills are as actors to go out into the normal world, not just our industry, and earn money actually acting, not in the traditional sense in terms of you're not going to be on TV, you're not going to be, on a theatre stage, but you're using your skills to teach other people how to do what you do, but in their industry. So like in the corporate world, and you might be like, oh, it's a bit boring, but if you're going to get paid upwards of £500 to a couple of £1,000 a day for you and a couple of your mates who are actors to go in and run a workshop to show people, how to be confident, then it's a no-brainer in it. Way better than working in a restaurant or a bar or a retail shop or something like that. So let us know if that's something that you'd be interested in. I will. I'll get Hal to to sort of talk about that and how he how he uses actors and takes them into that environment. I think it's something that you could earn a lot of money out of whilst actually using the skills that you no doubt paid shitloads of money to hone yourself. Most people here, if you go to drama school and you spent 30 grand on your degree, it's going to take you quite a bit to get that back working in a retail environment for minimum wage, whereas £500 a day, it's not going to take you 60 days, isn't it? 60 sessions, you've paid your whole degree back. Alex says, I volunteer. What for, Alex? You volunteer for Hal? We'll sort that out. I'm obviously still looking for an agent, says Sarah. My goal is to get one before the end of June. So any extra advice, they're not included in all these sessions. Sarah, ultimately, it's just a numbers game. It's difficult because it's kind of like you're going to have to spread. Sometimes actors don't spread the net far enough. What I would do is start very targeted, specific. So that would be, what I say in all these sessions when people are looking for their first agent or a new agent. It's basically reverse engineer what it is you want and look for the agents repping the actors who are in your position. So, watch the shows that you think that you are right for, and you've really got to have a self-awareness and understanding of what you are right for. You've got to know your casting type. You've got to know the kind of roles you will be seen for, and you've got to know your level right now of the kind of roles you're going to get a shot at even auditioning for. At that point, watch those shows, look out for those roles, make a note of the actors who played those roles on the credits, Google their agent and get a list together of all of these roles with that these actors played that you could play, that you would fit like a glove, and then get in touch with their agents. And you might be like, oh, but they've already got people, why would I get in touch with them? Because they've got people like, me doing those roles already. That's not of your worry. Those people doing those roles, if they're in work, the agent is going to need someone else to be going out auditioning. And also, like, just because someone looks like you or is doing a role that you could do, you've got so much more that you bring to the table, or very different things that you bring to the table compared to other actors. So get in touch with those agents anyway. But that's a great piece of advice that I just see working time and time again for actors. The other thing really is to really make sure that what you are sending you are so happy with. So a lot of actors get a bit insecure about just sending one scene. If you've got one self-tape, because that's really useful for an agent, not even a polished showreel where you've been on TV or you've shot a showreel scene from scratch, that's all good. But on that, you can hide behind the editing. There's music that helps you. There's kind of, camera angles and all this trickery. For an agent to watch a self-tape from an actor, because that's what they're going to be basically, getting for you. They're going to be getting your auditions and you're going to be taping, and then they're going to be sending those tapes to casting directors. For you to send an agent, one or two contrasting quality self-tapes that you are jumping for joy, where you're like, God, I'm good in this. You've got to make sure that you've got that feeling of that material you're sending off. If you're a bit like, it's kind of all right, and it's convenient for me to just send it off now because then I feel like I'm doing something, because it's a bit harder to go, I'm going to do another self-tape that I'm really proud of. Put that extra effort in to do that other self-tape that you're going to be really proud of. If you're not screaming from the rooftops about how good you are in the scene you're sending or the showreel you're sending, or maybe you've just tagged something a bit shit on the end because you're going, oh, well, you're allowed, I don't know, a 2-minute, 20-second showreel. I've got these two clips that are at 1:45 and I'm really proud of those, but I've got this one that's kind of all right, but I'll put it at the end. Don't put it at the end. Just send in the two good things that you're really proud of. Kelly, who's on a Thursday night, said that thing to me many years ago. Sometimes I'm looking for a reason not to bring you in. And that can be the thing at the end of your reel where you're like, oh, okay, right, now that's just put me off them for whatever reasons. Just make sure what you're sending off to agents you're super proud about. You're casting the net wide. So if you're in the north, don't think you can just apply to northern agents. Get yourself into London as well. Or if you're in London, don't think you can't have an agent outside of London. And patience is the other thing. That's, hard work on a daily basis and patience. It's really difficult. I've never signed with an agent I've wanted to sign with first time, Sarah. I've always had to email again when I've got something new to say, generally 3 to 6 months later, where I've gone out, I've done more work, I've proved, that I'm improving, I'm investing in myself, and then I ask for another meeting, and, I get it that time. Agents like to see, progression, and that you're doing, you're working hard and you're getting better. So be kind to yourself as well, It's just, it's a bit of a numbers game initially. Sometimes you just got to stay in the game as for enough time. Ultimately, for enough time, if you keep working hard, keep producing new material, and keep having conversations with new people, you cannot help but have success. Let's have a look. Alex, what are you saying about 2K? You want to? I'd be bored for 2K. What do you mean you'd be bored? Oh, you mean okay? I'd be bored for 2K. No, you're not gonna be bored doing those sessions. Just in the corporate world, it's still interesting, man. I did a few when I was first starting out. When I left drama school, there was a law firm in Manchester called Halliwell's, and we went in and did some sessions with them, and I had to sort of like play a lawyer and do role play of like in a courtroom and stuff like that. I'll always remember it as well because one of the, I don't know if they were like one of the managers there or something, was Thingy, who starred in Pretty Woman? Why has my mind gone completely blank? Julia Roberts. She was called Julia Roberts. I was like, am I actually one of my first acting jobs? Am I going to be on set with Julia Roberts? No, she was a lawyer. She just worked there and was not the Julia Roberts I was expecting. Angelina said, what would you recommend saying when contacting agents to really pique their interest and get them to come to see you in something when seeking representation? To get them to come and see you in something is a big ask when you have no prior rapport with them, Angelina. So I don't think that's necessarily going to be possible unless there was some kind of angle. Say, for instance, you saw on Twitter that they were a huge fan of a particular play. Maybe it's their favourite thing or their favourite, I don't know, a musical or whatever it was, and you happen to be doing a performance of that play. That's something you might get them to come along to. The only thing that's really going to pique their interest initially when it's cold outreach and they don't know you is a cracking show reel or self-tape. Something where they're like, wow, like this, this person can act, is fantastic. The thing that other things that would pique their interest is at least sounding like you know what you're talking about, not sending a generic email that says, "Dear Sir, Madam, here's my CV for your perusal, would love to be represented, let me know." I mean, that's just nonsense. Like, if there's some research gone into the agency, why you're approaching that agency, what you think of maybe a client who maybe or someone whose work you've watched that you really loved, or someone whose career you've seen be nurtured through that agency, and they're maybe making a transition into the kind of work that you want to make a transition into now, making it personal. Knowing who you're writing to is really, really important, and then just letting your work speak for itself. That's the hardest thing, because it ultimately comes down to that. There's nothing you could really write in an email that's going to put someone off you, or turn someone onto you, more than showing a great piece of work. Just put the work out there and let that do the talking. So it's a difficult one. There's no right or wrong thing, to be honest with you. Like I said, there's nothing you could write in it where they go, oh, right, the show reel's appalling, but they've written this in the email, so I'll have a meeting. They could go, oh, the email's lackluster, but God, the self-tape's amazing, so you're still going to get a meeting. Just do great work, your best work. Matt said, I used to work in sales, going door to door. You meet so many different personalities. It's a great source of inspiration for characters if you write your own stuff. Yeah, I bet it is. That was one good thing about working in retail. The amount of different people, I worked in retail for 11 years before I did acting full time. It took that long as well. Be patient, guys. It took that long for me to develop a full-time acting career, 11 years after drama school, right? So be patient. But yeah, the one thing that I got from that, the only sort of like big bonus from that really for me was a book full of ideas, Matt, for like a sitcom. I was like, God, I could write a sitcom on retail. Based on real life, and people would be like, oh my God, where have you got these characters from? No one could come up with this. And they were real. Like, that's why no one could come up with them, because these were actually real people. I was like, my God, the world is crazy. It's full of crazy people. Sally Ann says, if you're not on any social media platforms, does that make a difference to getting an acting job? Yeah, Sally Ann, honestly. I mean, if you've got a decent agent hustling for you and you're an avid emailer, that's no problem. But you will miss out on potential casting opportunities. Like Sharon put before, or Liz put before in the chat, Shakira Dowling put her casting out today for some comedy stuff. She's a great casting director. That went out on social media, on Twitter. I see every big casting director. Daniel Edwards does an awful lot. Des Hamilton does an awful lot via Instagram and Twitter. A lot of street casting. He casts some of the biggest stuff out there. There's not a week goes by. I saw Sonia Allen posting stuff this week. Not a week goes by where a top casting director does not post our brief to social media. So if you're not on, if you don't want to be on them all, just be on Twitter. It's the biggest one by far. Go to actonthis.tv/Twitter as well. Put your name and email address in, and you'll automatically be sent a list of 57 casting directors that I think you should be following on Twitter. actonthis.tv/Twitter. Anybody can do that, and you'll get that list. But yeah, I think you are potentially missing out on opportunities there. It's a really fertile sort of ground for finding out about stuff going on in the industry, and also just what casting directors are like in person, directors are like learning about their lives. And like I said before about the agent and writing to them if you were going to be in potentially their favourite play or whatever, the only way you'd find that out is by being on Twitter and them tweeting about it. It's the only real insight you get, or by jumping on the Zoom calls that we have with them, and you find a lot about them, on those and what they like and what they don't like, and just them as people. But the more you can find out about people, the more targeted you can make your correspondence, Sally. So yeah, definitely get on it if you're not already. Sharon says, yeah, it can make a difference to the relationships you can make within the industry and professionals. Also, you never know if a production might ask you to promote something on a specific platform. So true, Sharon. Good advice. Good advice. Let's have a look. What else is going on here? Sarah said, this is my second time emailing Archie and Ricky after 3 months, but so much happened that I felt it was worth it. Yeah. Honestly, Sarah, I've never signed with an agent first time. Never. I've only had about 4 agents, I think, in my career. Not a single one of them did I sign with first time. I wrote initially to all of them and got a no. And then each one at that time was the agent I really wanted to sign with. So I followed up with multiple correspondence, sometimes twice before they signed me. Not being a pest, there was months in between, and I was showing that I was doing the work. So keep going. Keep going. So many comments here. I'm sorry I'm missing them. We've only got 3 minutes left, but let's see what else we might not have covered. How are we, Rico? Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Roy says, my agent has been putting me forward, asking me to self-tape about 4 or 5 times a month. Wow, top. Self-tapes have been for commercials, which is okay. Since I don't have a lot of work experience, however, I haven't been shortlisted for an audition since the summer. I am a new actor, so it's hard to judge whether I still have a learning... Where's the comment gone? I still have a learning curve. I was unfortunately sick in October and in a house fire in November. No way. Sorry to hear that. So it wasn't the best year. 2022's got it's not got a hard job to be a better year than has it for you. So it definitely will be. My agent seems to have a commercial focus in terms of work experience. I'm still the same person I was last spring. How do I judge when I need to move on? So Roy, it would be a chat, mate. So if you feel that they are just going to be commercial focused and you don't want to do commercials, there's nothing wrong with commercials at all. They can be quite lucrative. They're not as much money in them now as there was 10 years ago. But can be, I know people who make a living out of commercials. As an actor, I know who I've seen sometimes in 3 adverts in a commercial break. In one commercial break, he's been in 3 adverts as different characters, for different brands. Like Michael Hagan, his name is. He just crushes adverts. So people make a really good living out of it. If you don't want to do adverts, then have a chat with your agent to see if they can put you forward for other stuff. And if they can't, it might just be an honest conversation where you go, okay, right, are you cool representing me then just for commercials, and I can go and find an agent who will rep me for other stuff? And then you've got to find an agent who's happy with that. Sometimes they'll go, no, we'll rep you for commercials and drama. So sometimes that can be a bit of a juggling act, but it is a thing where people have a commercial agent and a dramatic agent. So that's something to explore. But it would be a chat first, mate. There's no way to psychically kind of know what's going to come up if you stay with them. So you need to have a chat and just, sort of be honest. Just be honest. It's the best policy. Definitely. Rico said I didn't get a notification, so I forgot this was on. No worries, Rico. It's all good, mate. If you turn the notifications on the Facebook page now, I think at the top of the page you can find a button somewhere, or maybe even in this post, you can get a notification every time I go live. So you just have to sign up for that somehow on Facebook. And there is one thing we didn't cover, says Sarah. It's always about us, but how are you? Anything exciting planned for 2022? Yeah, Sarah, loads of stuff exciting planned that I'm doing for 2022. Started off well. Been doing some good adverts recently. I do a lot of voiceover, Sarah, so I've been doing some TV adverts recently for a famous sports brand that's going out. I've got a BBC Two drama coming out. Airing soon, called When Barbara Met Alan, stars Ruth Madeley. I play a talk show host. In that, you definitely want to check it out. That's coming out at some point soon. Someone have a little Google for me. BBC when Barbara Met Alan. See if it's got a date for it yet, a TX date. It's got to be coming out soon. But I've got that coming out. Loads of stuff obviously planned for atsonthis.tv. I want to do a lot more pre-recorded stuff this year for members of atsonthis.tv as well. I want to sit down and record some in-depth video chats with people that aren't live, but I can get sort of deeper into their lives and the inner workings of, their careers. I want to do a lot of that. I'm also going to start really promoting a sitcom that I've written this year. That's something that I've been saying I'm going to do for years, and I'm not just procrastination. Has just got no excuse, basically. I've just been not lazy because I've been doing other stuff, but I've not made time for it. So I've been lazy in that respect, that I should have made time for it. So there's that. If that gets somewhere, I might be able to give people in the community a part. You never know. And then I also want to look at producing some stuff this year, not necessarily acting in it. I want to produce stuff, and I want to start. I've been pretty lucky with voiceover and stuff. It's quite a lucrative industry. So I'm not made of money, but I've got a pot of money now as well that I want to use to start funding some short films. Not like, tens of thousands of pounds, but like I want to kind of like finance some stuff that I really believe in and produce that as well. I don't need to be in it. So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff planned. I just need to hold myself accountable and actually make sure that it gets done. This community distracts me sometimes in the most positive way, though. I love it, and sometimes I'm like, I'll just do more of this and more of this, and before I know it, some of my stuff has sort of been put back on the shelf. But it's all good. I don't think there is a. Sometimes people talk about balance a lot and like work-life balance and this, that, and the other. And I think it is a thing, but I think sometimes like your life just goes in seasons a bit more like that, and sometimes it's hard to find a particular kind of balance. And sometimes you'll be like, you know what, just for this month, I've just got to focus on this, and then this thing has to take a little back seat. Sometimes doing two things balanced is quite hard. Sometimes you've got to go all in on one thing for a little amount of time to make a big sort of impact on it. But I've just got to try. Fingers crossed this year. I've just got to try and get all the things in that I want to be getting in. Duncan said I had 3 different ads in one break once. No, mate, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it when actors do that. They're just like taking over a commercial break. That's wicked. And Rico's in a peanut butter ad running currently. Keeps getting text messages. Love it, man. I will keep an eye out. There's so many comments here, guys, that I've missed. I'm so sorry. Josh says no date yet, Ross. Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks for checking. And people say, yeah, Rico saying the Go Compare guy has clocked the game. Yeah, Go Compare. He's made an absolute killing, hasn't he, the lad? He's done very, very well, without a doubt. Alex wants me to cast him in the lead. I'll cast you in the lead, Alex. No problem. When I get the sitcom commissioned, I'll still be in it actually myself a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be the lead though. I'm just going to do a little cameo. Just want to be the writer. Definitely try to get. Natalie says definitely try to get voiceover sorted this year. Needs to get out of the day job. Natalie, it was the thing that got me out of the day job. Honest to God, like I can't tell you how flexible voiceover is and how good it can make your life when you commit to it as much as you commit to your acting career. Too many people look at it as something to do on the side. It needs to be just as important if you're going to make progress in it, but it's highly lucrative. Sometimes I would be in, just to be blunt with you, remember once I used to do the Jet 2 adverts, and I was in the Jet 2 adverts, actually in them, and we flew out to Palma or wherever, and we shot the advert, and I think I got 1,200 quid for being in the ad. But when we came home, I also voiced the advert as well as a separate job through a voiceover agent, and I got nearly $5,000 to voice it. It's like 4 times as much as I got to be in it. So the numbers just don't make sense sometimes. How you can get more to just talk in the ad than actually being in it. And that's not typical. You don't, some jobs you get are just a couple of £100. Not adverts. Adverts are always well paid, but the bread and butter in voiceover is corporate work or someone's website or an instructional video or something. Not loads and loads and loads of money, but £200 an hour. I mean, God, no one's going to turn their nose up at that. I used to earn £5.75 an hour in retail for 11 years. My wage went up about 20p, literally. Honestly, God, about 20p in 11 years. So yeah, people should explore voiceover, but you cannot just do it as an actor. Like, oh, I can act, so I can do voiceover. No. It's a very different discipline. You've really got to commit to it. You've got to train. But boy, if you get good at it and you get known for a particular type of voice or a particular type of energy, or where you would do a particular type of ad. I always do like young, energetic ads. I do quite a lot of like friendly corporate stuff. I get known for that thing. You get booked time and time and time again by the same agencies and the same production companies. So it can, when you build over time, really get you out of any of those shitty day jobs for sure. Amin says, no, not in the acting category, but I'm doing supporting artist work for Marvel for 2 weeks in West Yorkshire. Mate, well, that is in the acting category as far as I'm concerned. Wicked. Oh man, there's so many people, Amin, that would like love to just be on a Marvel set, full stop. Never mind like actually having a speaking part or anything. I'd just like to sit and watch. Definitely. Who would you pitch a sitcom to? Says Sally Ann. Production companies who specialise in comedy. So I already have done. I've had a couple of meetings with Sky. I had a meeting with the company who made The In-Betweeners. I've submitted it to BBC Writers' Room a couple of times, but it's not really got anywhere. So there's a part of me that goes, that pot of money I said I was going to fund, a few shorts just to maybe make a sizzle of it. Just shoot almost like a highlight reel of some of the scripts. I think I might do that myself. That could be a decent way to go. But yeah, and Natalie says definitely more than teaching. Yeah, get on that voiceover, Natalie. That's what you need to do. So, folks, I'm going to love you and leave you. It's just gone 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here.
How many auditions would you expect a client to get?
What happened there? I was playing that clip from Bex again. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to press this button. Don't forget, this Thursday night, I'm going to be live, with Kelly Valentine Hendry and her entire casting team. 3 associates, 1 assistant, all live on Zoom. Private Zoom call for members of actsonthis.tv, talking all about the projects they're casting in 2022, how you can get on the team's radar, what you need to do ultimately to land self-tapes and auditions with that office for the biggest stuff in TV. Get your membership if you're not going already. actsonthis.tv/live. Be there. Kelly's lovely. She's so nice and kind. I imagine her team are all brilliant. It's the first time I've met the team. So we're going to get to the bottom of everything they're doing, everything they're working on. And the email I got from Kelly today was that they are literally working on a casting right now, right up until 7 o'clock on the night we're doing that. So they must be doing something pretty big. She's put, we have a casting right up until that point. We've got a full house. She says we got a full house from us, which is cool. We've got Lily, Cole, Jessica, Leanne, and we've got Kelly herself. So 5 people are going to be on that Zoom call. It's going to be an absolute cracker. So thank you so much for being here. What have I got to play you for the ending? I'm going to play the replay of Bex again, just for those people who missed it at the beginning. This is a trailer for the session that we did with Bex Elliff from Creative Artist Management, a top agency last week. If you're looking for an agent this year in 2022, the full 90-minute chat with Bex is available in the members area. I'll play you 2 minutes of what you missed. And I'll love you and leave you guys. I'll see you Thursday night, hopefully. What else is just going on in the comments here before I go? Everyone's saying thank you, see you Thursday. Thank you, see you Thursday. Thanks ever so much. Cheers, Rich. Thanks for tuning in, mate, all the way from the States. I hope you are well, dude. New ring. Yeah, this is an Aura ring. Before I go, this ring has sensors in it, Sharon. So it measures your sleep. It tells you your heart rate, your resting heartbeat, your temperature. It connects to your iPhone, so it tells you. It's all about health. This year for me, 2022, is all about health. It's just something that helps me sort of monitor that. So yeah, Aura. Check it out. OURA. Aura ring. Very, very cool. Right, love you guys. Take care. I'll see you Thursday. And here's a little bit of what you missed from Bex. actsonthis.tv/live. Get your membership if you want full access and you want to join us every single week. Until next time, bye for now. She has been requested umpteen times. I've finally tracked her down via 25 emails and we've made it happen. Top agent from Cam, it's Bex Elliff. How did you get into this crazy industry? What did you start off as? How did you end up at Cam? What's the deal?
I got offered a job at an agency which I'm not going to name.
Okay.
And then overnight, something just dropped, the penny dropped, that wasn't going to provide me much longevity, and I wanted clients that I could work with and develop for a very long time. I decided to come down and do a few interviews at agencies, and CAM was my second interview. There are 3 partners of CAM, and that is Michael, Dawn and Peter. Michael has 2 wonderful actors that he represents, and you will all know them. It's Martin Freeman and Ray Winston.
Tog is the most recent. Tell us how you signed him, how you met him, and what it was about him that made you go, I want him.
Probably music to everybody's ears on here. I met him at a workshop last year.
There you go.
Literally on one of these. And then when he said that he needed advice, I kindly just suggested that he drop me an email after the workshop, and I helped him. And then he was saying, who should I write to? Who should I meet? And I was like, well, I'll be really offended if you don't want to speak to me.
3 most important things to include in my email if I'm emailing you for rep. If I don't have a showreel, this is what you just said. Can I send you a self-tape / recent audition? How can they work with, not against or independently, but with their agent to cultivate more opportunity?
What do you think is a realistic number of auditions do you expect? Would one a week? One every 2 weeks? Couple a week? What do you think?
It's hard because I have clients that have 10 auditions a week and I have clients that have 10 auditions a month.
So my question is basically if you have any tips for mixed race actors approaching agents.
You don't have to fit into a box.
Yeah.
All ethnicities, heritage, disability is welcome in this industry. Everyone's comparing themselves to everyone else's experience, but being an actor is having your own experience. Just like being an agent, I don't want other agents' experience, I want my own. So just stay in your own lane.